Hey guys, this is Jenny Tollison and video 2. The advice that I would give to the principal would be to proceed with caution, especially as it relates to the advice or strong suggestion from the superintendent. I think that their superintendent is letting his personal feelings and possible favoritism toward Mr. Washington affect his ethical judgment, and that the principal should not feed into that. In fact, I would let the principal know that the principal is bound by the code of ethics more so than the superintendent, and bound more so than loyalty to the superintendent. If the principal is not following the code of ethics set by the state, then the principal will be held accountable whether the superintendent told her to do this or not. So I think that she needs to proceed with caution. In fact, the Georgia Code of Ethics says that unethical conduct with students includes committing any act of cruelty to children or any act of child endangerment. And so, if Miss Henry allows an adult to stay in the school without due process, without fully investigating the situation and what happened, just on the premise of knowing the person and feeling loyal, I think that's going to present problems for people in the community. And ultimately, I think this situation will come under investigation by outside law enforcement anyway. So, in my opinion, it would be a better move to go ahead and involve law enforcement, not because we think Mr. Washington is guilty, but because we think that, there's a possibility of guilt. And we have to protect the students at all costs. The number one priority in a school is to keep children safe, physically, emotionally, psychologically, and in every other way. So that would be my advice to the principal. I don't think that the superintendent was making an ethical decision there. And I want to respond now to Calicia. I really liked how you articulated both sides of this situation. You talked about how, Mr. Washington could be perceived and how he served so long and never gotten in trouble, and how he's always made good choices and supported people and all that. I think you really articulated well, like if you're on the side of Mr. Washington, how that could be viewed. But then if you're on the side of Ricky, and you could view it a totally different way. So if you're Ricky's parent, you're going to see, that you're going to see the whole situation through a different lens. And I really think you articulated that well. One thing that you said was that it seemed to, the ethic of care seemed to be one that one would pull from in this situation. And I completely agree with that. I think that we have to look at care on both sides, because the ethic of care deals with working together to meet the needs of all people, all stakeholders involved in a situation. And so I agree with you there. I have one question, and I pose this to the group, is, I don't think that the superintendent was operating in the ethic of care, and I wonder if you guys, after hearing my rationale, would agree or disagree. So I think that he was showing favoritism. I don't think he was imploring any ethics or decision-making in any way in this situation. And I don't think that the ethic of care is just showing favoritism without due process. I know due process is more of an ethic of justice, process, but I think you have to consider due process while showing care. And so the ethic of care, I think, helps us come to a peaceful resolution, but I think you have to go through a process to get to that point, not just ignore the whole thing and, sweep it under the rug because we know the person. Anyway, I just wonder what you guys think about that. Thank you all for your posts, and I'm going to go ahead and end this now because I've gone over my 5 minutes. Take care, and I'll look forward to the next one.